Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fear Podcast. We are here with Shanmuga and Varun for the game of Manchester City and Borussia Mönchengladbach. Guys, welcome to the podcast. Hope you will have a great time here. And biggest question is, what is Pep Guardiola thinking? How he should form this team after the 17 game win run? How he should form
Yeah,
this team? Shanmuga, over to you.
thank you, Rajdeep. Thanks. So it's real knockouts around the corner for Manchester City, and couldn't be more excited. Like every other year, we are getting excited and then getting knocked out by Hopefully, it's not the story now. But as you know, the 17 game run or the winning run in all competitions is a huge boost. And coming after wins at Anfield and Everton as well, winning against both the Merseyside clubs, and with coming into more with more confidence, and with KDB also returning at the right time, just when the knockouts are getting started.
Yes.
Even
How do
though
you think KDB will be the influence in the game? He was very much influential last season against Real Madrid. How do you think he will influence this game?
he will be the key factor. I know Pep Guardiola's Manchester City is not a one man team, but we definitely need KDB. He is the best player we have got, and he is a show starter in any of the important games we have. And the role will differ. I think against Real Madrid last season, he was given a very free role, just a floating SS maybe, and not necessarily against Gladbach, but maybe against a bigger opposition, he would do the same. But against Gladbach, I think he will start into the right midfield position, which in that 4-3-3. But he is a sure starter, and I'm more excited for him to be back.
Over to Varun. How do you think Marco Rose should plan on stopping KDB?
Yeah, so first of all, to begin with, how Mönchengladbach have performed so far this season, it's been really confusing for all the fans. I mean, there are not many fans in India for them, but I am
Exactly.
a huge fan of Marco Rose and the entire coaching staff of Gladbach because they've done an amazing job over the last couple of years, and especially in the 2019-20 season. I was totally blown away by the way they, handled the competition, especially from Leipzig and Dortmund and Leverkusen, and managed to, cruise to the top four. So, to be very frank, I was having much higher expectations from Gladbach for this season. And I mean, as some of you may already be knowing, they haven't had a win in 4 games in Bundesliga since their big win against Dortmund. They've gone for 4 weeks without a win. So, and on the other hand, like how
They
Shanmuga
lost
was
tonight,
mentioning,
right? They lost
exactly.
tonight as
So
well. Yeah,
today marks their fourth consecutive winless streak in Bundesliga, and City have been like steamrolling every team,
exactly.
tearing apart in the Premier League. But what is confusing here is that somehow Gladbach have found the strength to show up against the big guns. If you've noticed,
Exactly.
so they've
Exactly.
managed to get a win against Bayern. They've managed to do it against BVB. They almost did it against Madrid in the group stage, but when it comes to the smaller teams, they seem to have a problem. It's really difficult to comprehend what's going on. And just now we've had this news about how Rose is going to be joining BVB in the summer, and there have been a lot of talks going on as to which player he's going to take from Gladbach to BVB, and now the dressing room is absolutely not in the right frame of mind, if you ask me, to face someone like Manchester City of current form. So it's definitely going to be a huge Herculean task for Gladbach to go into even the second leg with a fighting chance. They need to be at their absolute best. So they have all these variety of options going on with them. So I have a feeling they are going to try and surprise City by going for a back three once again. They did it tonight; it did not work. But again, they did it versus Dortmund; it worked. I have a feeling that it's going to be, something that City will not really expect. Maybe a 3-4-1-2 with Zakaria, Elbedi, and Jinter, and they're probably going to not sit back against City. I have a feeling that it's going to be a very tactically a really interesting game for both teams. Um, But again, with the kind of form that City are in, it's going to be it's tough to see anything positive for Gladbach at the moment, given the off the pitch scenario for them.
Yeah.
I
So like
agree
what?
with actually. I was
Okay.
expecting
Go on.
a back three with Gladbach as well, and since Manchester City is in Champions League, there is always a chance for the opposition team as well. So that's a plus point for you.
Yeah. So like Varun, one more question to you. Like Marco Rose is going to the direct rival. What's your thought about that?
I think it's something that Bundesliga are not alien to. So,
Yeah.
in the last 1 week, you've seen Upamecano going to Bayern, and now this. I think it's going to be a refreshing start for BVB next year because I mean, it in the start of the season for Dortmund, it looked like everything was falling in place, and then suddenly it all went haywire. And I think Rose is definitely a great fit for them because he's amazing at using young talent, and BVB are known for that. So it's going to be a direct fitment that way. But as far as the future of Gladbach are concerned, I am a little worried regarding that because I thought this project was going to go on for another couple of more years, and I thought this was about Gladbach becoming a regular top four competitor, and I thought it was going to head towards that direction. But they've already, I think they are already in trouble with regard to finishing top four this year. But as far as the game against City is concerned, I think. Having said all of this, just that the way they have turned up in the big games this season, I don't know where they get the energy to do that from only for these special games like Madrid and
Yeah.
Bayern and Dortmund and even Leipzig. So they've won everything. I mean, except for the Madrid game, which they almost won. So I have a
Yeah, like
feeling.
they did draw the first leg, if I remember correctly. That was 2-2, I
Exactly,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it was from a 2-0 lead until 80th minute.
Yeah.
They didn't look like they were going to drop the point, drop even a single point.
Single
So,
point.
uh,
Exactly.
yeah, it looked like a comfortable game against Madrid for the first 80 minutes. So, and Rose is a great tactician, no matter what the atmosphere of the dressing room is right now with him leaving and all that stuff. So, I think I mean I'm sure people are aware. Florian Neuhaus has been having a superb season. Zakaria's back to fitness since a couple of weeks, and everyone knows how Plia and Thuram are on the counter. So I think these factors are definitely something that City have to consider. But having said that, you will have to tip the favor a little bit into because towards City because it doesn't look like anything is going to stop them, and they are completely non-reliant on any single player. Anyone comes in and they just perform. It's just unbelievable what City are doing. So it's going to be an interesting game, definitely. But to consider Gladbach's chances over two legs is something that one might have to think about.
Yeah, like City's defense is going so superb right now, like Ruben Dias and John Stones. And on the other side, the Borussia's attack is Stendhal and Plia. They have been in good form as well. So that matchup should be very good, I think. What do you say?
Absolutely.
Uh,
So yeah, please go on,
yeah,
Shanmuga.
Yeah,
Shanmuga, please.
absolutely. Like defense, the major part that start of the season, Pep actually tried 4-2-3-1 because last season Rodri as a single DM did not work, and that's why in the initial stages of the matches, either Fernandinho was joining Rodri or Gundogan. It was, and we still lost points, and that was actually causing way more problems in the attack as well. We were not creating enough chances, and that's why we were losing too many points. And then suddenly Diaz came and everything improved, and we looked a whole new different team at all. And I remember very well. I remember sitting at a City match earlier and wondering why would of all other teams Pep Guardiola's Manchester City is not creating enough chances to win a game,
Yeah.
and it was so astonishing. And suddenly when the defense got clearer, the introduction of Ruben Diaz and the redemption of John Stones, which no one expected it to be, and so on so benching Laporte out of all other center backs we have 400 million defenders we have actually. So when it comes to that, the introduction of Ruben Diaz, and then Pep Guardiola got the courage to go with sole DM of Rodri. And if you see the recent games, it is more like it's 4-3-3 on paper, but it is more like 3-1-3, 3-3 attack. And it was all formidable season all over again, where we won the all the domestic competitions there is. So the defense, the introduction of Ruben Diaz changed everything, and we look solid as ever. I remember the game against Southampton. We started the 17-game run, and we were 1-0. And until the last minute, I was holding my breath because that could go any way wrong, because Southampton were good on that day. And I remember maybe a Sheffield game where we hold a slender lead. I was comfortably sitting even in the last minutes, because I know we are going to get the win anyway, because we were so comfortable in the defense. And the leadership Roman Diaz is having, and the latest clip with Senjako as well, and that was around the internet earlier. So much big he has become in the city side. And it is almost like VVD level impact he has had at Manchester City, and we're all excited.
So
We know we have spent a lot on defense, but if you look at the squad Pep Guardiola inherited, we had Zabaleta, Sagna, Kolarov, Clichy, all 32 plus age, and we had to play Jesus Navas at RB, and which was a tweak made by Pep Guardiola, and who is now a world class RB at Sevilla. And so these things, there are many tweaks Pep Guardiola made, and we had to spend our pocket. And Cancelo, man, we got a swap deal for Cancelo with Danilo. Imagine that
yeah.
now.
So
So
basically, City's back four is pretty much equivalent to whole of Mönchengladbach's team, capital wise.
yeah, it is
So
what it is. I'm not complaining.
so Varun, how do you think Rose should plan his attack against this formidable back
I'm
line?
Yeah. Actually, speaking of City's back four, I'm actually really curious as to how he's gonna, go about the right back and left back. Is it gonna be Walker and Cancelo with Cancelo on the left, or is it gonna be Cancelo on the right with Zinchenko on the left? That is something really crucial because I don't know if a lot of people are aware, but Gladbach have got a gem in on the left flank with Ben Sebaini. So he's an
Uh,
amazing talent, and he's one of the best young left backs in Germany right now. And so, whether he's going to be up against Cancelo, who's been doing all sorts of things on the right flank, inverting into the midfield from right, and there's been no literally position for him. He's just all over the pitch. So, is it going to be that sort of a role from Cancelo against Benny on that flank, or is it going to be Walker on the right with Cancelo on the left, like how it was against Everton? So against Everton, if you had seen that Cancelo was coming into the midfield from the left, and the right flank was taken care of by Walker, like he usually does. So this is going to be one really interesting battle. As far as Gladbach's attack is concerned, I mean the obvious names are Plia and Thuram, and there is no lack of pace there. So I mean, City have dealt with pace pretty comfortably this year. So it's not the usual. City are facing pacey counter attacks. Don't know what's going to happen. That sort of feeling is not there anymore. So uh, but there is always this criticism when it comes to Pep in the knockout stages of Champions League. I am not personally a believer of that. I don't think that overthinking is something that is affecting him. Uh, I think this year, I don't know if it's too early to call, but I feel it's theirs for the taking. I mean, unless and until they do really, really something just doesn't go in their way. Otherwise, I don't think it's anyone's. Not many can go toe to toe with them. So what Gladbach can probably do as of now is to um, I wouldn't say it's wise to sit back just for the entire 180 minutes of the game. They can probably do what comes best to them, which is they are also equally adept at keeping the ball. Whether it's Bayern or whether it's a Dortmund that they are facing, they have always stuck to their natural game, which is to draw the pressure and create space behind a team, and then use their pace to get in behind the defense. However risky that is, Gladbach have always stuck to their principles. I mean, I have not seen Gladbach change their game as a whole just to win that particular game. They are pretty much stubborn in a positive way with what they believe in. So I don't think that way anything is going to change against City. But whether it's going to work or not is something we'll have to wait and see. And another shocker, I'll just quickly put it out there, is Jan Sommer. Um, I'm a huge fan of Jan Sommer, and I think in the 2019-20 season, before COVID had stopped football, I think he was the best keeper in Bundesliga for that season. He was making crazy saves, and Gladbach's defense was kept. He was keeping a lot of attacks at bay with his work inside the penalty area. And this season, somehow that has just changed completely. It's become completely topsy turvy for him. So, I mean, I know there is a lot of XG and a lot of fancy numbers that come into play, but I just saw this one figure which is called the post shot XG, which is basically the quality of a shot. And if that quality of the shot, uh, by using that number, they try to judge the quality of the save. Basically, if the post shot XG is going to be more than say zero point 0.5 or zero point 0.6, it means that it's a 50-60% chance that such a shot will go into a goal. So they calculate it based on the curve, power, and all those stuff. So based on these numbers, he was saving more than what he should be doing, more than 20 or 30% than what he actually should do in the last year. And now he's doing less than 20 or 30%. Basically, he was in the top two or three last year. He's in the bottom two or three this year. Just direct fall like this. So it was not expected of him because he's one of the best keepers in Germany, and I think that is another area which has affected Gladbach in terms of dropping a lot of points. I mean, I don't want to make any predictions as of yet because it's Champions League, so anything
Well,
can
you
happen
have
literally.
to make a prediction at the end of the podcast because
If you force me to, I will. If you force me to, I will.
yes,
Sure.
I will have to force you. And on account of goalkeepers, how good is Ederson playing right now, Shanmuga?
Just look at the assist he did for Gundogan, and
I wish I could answer
just
that.
before that, yeah,
I'm a
go
huge
ahead,
fan,
no
but please
problem.
go on. Go on, go on, go on. No, no, please go on,
Yeah,
Shanmuga,
so
please.
yeah, he does almost everything correct. Actually, if you look at closely what Ederson has done so far in the season, when there were many matches, when the score were level, he made some incredible saves that went
Yeah.
under the radar because we scored 3 or 4 goals after that save, and everyone doesn't talk about the save he made, but the goals. So that was the case, and as a City fan, we notice it more, and he has made some incredible saves, one-on-one saves in this season, and that were very, very crucial as well. So, and there were criticism in the previous season, and still he kept the most number of clean sheets. Last season, he won the Golden Goal last season when we finished second. But he made some blunders in that season, and this season Pep insisted on so very good, and he like we know his distribution skills and all, and even for the Rodri penalty last match, he was telling Bernardo to go to the right side, but Rodri went to the left, and it was almost saved by Loris. So he knows the game, and he knows what to expect of it, and he's very intelligent actually. So he makes it look so cool when he passes a ball, and that's what has been. Is an incredible performer. He's been so underrated this season. We talk about the stars of the season: Ruben Diaz, Cancelo is there, and Gundogan now, but Ederson has been a silent performer all the way.
Okay, one question to both of you. Who is gonna be the X factor for the team? We will go with Varun first.
You mean for Gladbach or for both the teams? Or
Both the teams, you can take your picks.
uh, I think for Gladbach, it's definitely going to be. I mean, if I have to name one player, I think then Newhouse is going to be pretty important for them because I think to transition from the middle and overcome that pressure from City and go to the attacking phase, it's going to be really important. And Benzibaini, I think, is again really, really key. I mean, I'm not going to name the usual suspects, which is Plia and Thuram. I mean, everyone's going to know it. So I
Exactly.
just want to give out the other important guys except them. So I think Benzibeni and Newhouse are really important for Gladbach, except for the main ones, which is Plia and Thuram. So uh,
Yeah, we have kept 11 clean sheets in the last 17 games, and so We are confident about that, but like you said, my key player, I think even if we play false nine, Gundogan is do the role, or KDB will be doing the role. The role rotation is always there. Foden can play through the middle or in the RS and on the left wing. So I don't mind about the attack as of now since we are doing pretty good. And I always stick to one single point for every Pep Guardiola team, starting from where he was in Barcelona, Bayern Munich, as well as at City, that defensive midfield position, the Sergio Busquets position, and that position again, Rodri is going to be the key in this picture. So if he clicks, we click. And that's as simple as it is, because he controls everything and he stops the counters. And he has been so good. He has been so good this season, and we need it at his best in this match. And for that, so I believe he is going to be the key for us. And he can back on the defenders we have as of now. Well, previously with Otamendi and the others, it was not so. And now Ruben Diaz and John Stones, maybe I think Laporte will also start as left back, I believe. With that defense, we will have that extra confidence to go for it, and he's going to be the key. With case of Gladbach, I do not entirely know if Zakaria is available for selection, but he's also linked with us massively, and I worry about him actually. Example for the Leon game, not exactly the same position, but I was when NWA was playing with in Leon, and he bullied our Manchester City team. He literally bullied us, and that was one awesome experience. And then I was like crazy for 2 weeks. We want the NWA at our team. I was like that, and and Zakaria, not exactly the same position, but he has that kind of a feel with him. He can do that. So I'm worried about him
Absolutely.
actually.
Uh,
Just to add to your point, Shanmuga, I mean, speaking of, if I may, Rajdeep,
yes,
if I may just add
absolutely.
to a point. So, speaking of physically getting outmuzzled and bullied, Gladbach have managed to score a lot from set pieces this season. So they have, I think, 9 goals from set pieces this season, which the last time I checked was the second highest in Germany. So they have been scoring a lot from set pieces. Thuram, they generally speak of how good he is in counter, but he's also good aerially. So also the centre backs of Gladbach. So they are pretty good in set pieces. So although City have not faced much of an issue this season with regard to defending set pieces, but usually this has been an area to worry, right? I mean, a lot of Pep Guardiola's teams have been reputed for not being great defenders of corners and free kicks. So I think that is also an area probably City
Pep
have to be
Guardiola
really
himself
careful.
admitted he doesn't coach tackles. They
Exactly.
said.
So that is something that they have to keep in mind.
Okay, one more question before we wrap up. Considering the previous seasons, City has not been very good in the knockout phases. Like they have always gone down in the quarterfinals. So Varun, are you hopeful that Gladbach can follow the same, or might this time City's chances will go and they will qualify?
Yeah, so I am a huge fan of Marco Rose. I like I told you before, but I'm a huge fan
Yeah.
of Pep himself. So I definitely wouldn't wish the worst for City, but then I mean it's going to be more interesting if Gladbach can surprise City in the first leg, right? Then the second leg is going to be really interesting to watch because if Gladbach can manage the result right now, then at Etihad you never know because City will be forced to go all out in Etihad, and then on the counter you don't know what may happen. So the pressure of scoring when it's there in the second leg, it doesn't matter if it's your home or away. You might concede even 3 or 4 at home. That doesn't matter. That's how Champions League works, and we have all seen it for so many years. So if I would really wish that Gladbach can go to Etihad with a result in hand, with a result that they can fight with, not a 2-0 or a 3-0 loss right now. If they can take a even a 1-0 or a 2-2 draw to Etihad, then it's game on. If you ask me, so I'm hopeful that Gladbach can somehow pull that off.
So in terms
Uh,
of predictions, we are getting a 2-2 or a 1-0 for City.
I'm going for a
Oh, in terms
1-3
of,
with
I mean,
City.
that's something I'm hopeful of. That's something I hope for. But if you ask
So
me to predict rationally, then I would say 2-1 City. Yeah.
2-1 City. And Shanmuga, what's your
I'm going for
prediction?
3-1 with City.
3-1
I think,
City.
yeah, I think the Champions League hoodoo is will be back in this season again, but not just against Gladbach, who are having many problems themselves.
So maybe in the
But
later
this,
rounds we'll get it.
yeah, but this is the best time. This is the best season to have, because with all the other big teams really struggling and we are actually on form. Honestly, I am being a more optimistic than how I was at the last season. Even against Leon, I was shivering. Because we could not know which team to expect, and it was a single leg tie. And since the double leg ties are back, we are clear favorites on paper against any team in the world. That's what I believe in, and we have the squad as well. So I hope we go all the way to lift that coveted trophy after all.
Okay, we all are hoping for the same, and we wish Gladbach very good luck against this fight against this behemoth. And we are ending it here right now. So good night, everyone, and hope we get a great match to see. Good night, guys. Thank you for
Good
being
night.
here.
Thank you, Ravi.
Good night,
Good night.
Shanmuga. All the
Good night,
best.
boys.